So it looks like Xbox Series S is being blamed for Redfall being only 30 frames per second on consoles at launch. Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video I would like to talk about Xbox Series S and Redfall and, well, some of the opinions I've seen on Twitter and other social media, where some people blame Xbox Series S for Redfall being a 30 frames per second game on consoles at launch, which looks like some people just will take every single opportunity to throw rocks at Xbox Series S. And listen, I'm not saying that Xbox Series S is perfect. I said many times before, this is not a console for me, but I'm more like Xbox Series X/PC kind of guy, really. But yeah, I mean, you know, Xbox Series S has a wide audience. There's a lot of people that own these consoles and they enjoy their experiences, really, right? But anyway, I'm not here to talk about how people feel about this console. I just want to talk about Redfall and why these claims that Xbox Series S holds this game back are kind of ridiculous. Because developers did already confirm that the 60 frames per second patch is coming later. So yeah, there's no holding back anything really, because yes, Xbox Series consoles will get that 60 frames per second patch and this game will run at 60 frames per second later after launch. So in reality, the whole thing about Redfall, it's not necessarily a technical issue per se, but it's more about developers needing more time to, well, optimize this game better for these new consoles. So that's one thing, right? Like, it's clear that, you know, maybe actually some people that claim, I've seen a lot of people basically saying that maybe this game should be delayed, because this is not the only thing kind of missing or needing change, because they did say that on top of that 60 frames per second patch after launch, they will be also working on getting rid of always online feature in single player mode. That's coming after launch apparently. And there's some other stuff I've read about that developers did confirm will be coming after launch, right? So, you know what, like, I'm not necessarily advocating for this game to be delayed again, but maybe there's something to it, right? The only thing really I'm just kind of cautious about and I'm a bit afraid of really is that this game will I just hope it will be good in a, like, from technical perspective, because I'm sure that Arcane will deliver a very good experience, a very good game, because that's what they do really. Like, I can't remember a bad game from them really, but I just hope that the fact that they switched from their own kind of internal game engine to Unreal Engine 4, I just hope that that wasn't really too much to chew for them really, right? Because if you are a studio that have been working on with your own tools and then you move to something new, well, you know, we've seen games failing because of that. Like, good example is Halo Infinite, for example, right? They switched the engine, which actually caused them quite a lot of trouble. And yeah, listen, I'm not saying that that will be a big problem, but I did hear, I think Jess Corden actually talking about the fact that he did hear that the fact that they moved from their own game engine to Unreal Engine 4 did cause them some extra work and trouble, I guess, right? Because, like, if you are new to a game engine, you kind of have to kind of adjust, right? It takes more time, and I guess Unreal Engine has its own limitations as well. But at the same time, so that's okay. So let's close that part of the video, right? So I'm just saying that Xbox Series S does not hold Redfall back per se, because looks like that patch is coming, and we will enjoy this game at 60 frames per second on consoles, but unfortunately later. So yeah, it's just a matter of these developers needing extra time to work on that game. So that's one thing. And another thing I want to actually just kind of mention is the fact that yes, they did switch the engines, and because I was kind of annoyed, because when I saw that tweet about the fact that Redfall is going to be 30 frames per second only at launch, I was like, how is that possible? I mean, if a lot of their games run 60, like Prey is 60 now on Xbox, thanks to, I guess, FPS boost, but I think they actually patched the game too, so it's 1440p 60 frames per second now. I think Prey is. Deathloop is a great example of a game that runs great on Xbox as well, right? It looks good, and it's like some sort of like reconstructed 4K at 60 frames per second, that kind of stuff. So you see that when they were working with their own engine, right? There was no problem. I mean, I guess you could argue that these games did not offer a proper open world gameplay, and that's really the case. Dishonored wasn't actually open world. I didn't play the second one, so I can't really say, but the first one was not open world. Prey wasn't open world because it had these like different levels, and Deathloop wasn't really open world either. So I guess this engine of their own was actually good for that kind of games, but when it comes to open world, maybe that their game engine couldn't really handle it, right? That's why they probably switched to Unreal Engine 4. And funny enough, Unreal Engine 4 has its own issues with handling open world games, and but hey, big games in Unreal Engine 4 are possible. I mean, even the latest Atomic Heart, it has its own kind of open world areas, but it's still not a proper open world game either, right? So I don't know, guys, like, I can't really explain why this game Redfall is going to be 30 at launch only, per se, because developers didn't really say much about it. We have not seen any comments from developers about it, and so just going by the fact that that the 60 frames per second patch will be coming later, that means that it's possible, it's doable, and it's just a matter of time, right? So it looks like they just need more time to optimize this game for these consoles. So yeah, guys, like, I wouldn't really cry too much about it. Now, I was actually kind of obviously disappointed about this like 2 days ago when I first saw it, and that makes sense because it's a first party game, and so it's not really a good PR for this game, but I still hope that this game will be good even at 30 frames per second. I'll be playing on PC anyway, so it's going to be 60 frames per second experience for me anyway. And going by the previews, because number of YouTubers did play that game already, and they were actually praising this game for its gameplay loop and everything. It's just a shame that people will get to experience this game at 30 frames per second only, especially that this is a shooter, right? It may not be the most fast-paced kind of shooter like Call of Duty, but still, it's a FPS game. Every single FPS game should be 60, in my opinion. And this is next gen. I mean, this is Xbox Series only NPC game, so no cross-gen kind of excuses anymore. So anyway, listen, so all that talk about Xbox Series S holding this particular game back is just pile of bullshit, because 60 frames per second patch will be offered later. You know, we may discuss the Xbox Series S and how it holds or not holds anything or something back when it comes to development of other games and next-gen game engines. But I guess that would be a topic for another video, so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, guys, that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.